Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto, and today guys we are taking another cheeky look at Vechain. Specifically we're going to have a look at the VET price and the 40% breakout. We'll have a look at Vechain futures debuting on KuCoin and see what's going on there. We'll have a look at the VET to USD chart on the daily, the 4-hourly and the hourly views, and see what's going on with the VET price and what's going to happen in the short term as we think is going to happen there, and what we also think might happen during 2021 and the bull cycle. So if you do find this video useful, informative, do go ahead and smash that like button for Chris. He really does appreciate it. And if you're new to the channel and not yet subscribed, do go ahead and subscribe. By subscribing, you will be kept up to date with all of the videos and live streams that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. Right, with all that said and done, Chris, shall we jump on over, or do you want to talk about Cardano's staking pool?
I always want to talk about the Cardano staking pool, Nick. It's a great way to support not only the channel, but also Cardano by making it more decentralized, right? So yeah, you can delegate to the cheeky Cardano staking pool with the ticker CHEEK. You can do this through the ADA Lite wallet, Deadliest wallet, Yori wallet, and Atomic wallet. Can't get my words out today, but yeah, and you can earn some juicy rewards. I do like saying that, Nick.
I know. But yeah, we'd love to have you there. If you're already delegating to another pool and fancy a bit of a change, come check out the Cheeky Crypto pool. We'd love to have you there, minting blocks with you. And if you're not delegating your ADA and you want to know a little bit about it, then do check out some of our other videos where we show you how to delegate and some of the benefits around delegating your ADA. And we'd love to help you out with that delegation process as well. And you will be able to earn additional ADA on your existing bags. So well worth doing if you're not yet actually taking part. Right.
Anyway, Nick, let's get straight into the Vechain.
Let's get into this. Yeah, absolutely.
I love this project. Sorry, man, I'm cutting you off.
Fantastic. So a Vechain futures debut on KuCoin while the VET price prepares for a breakout. A 40% breakout. And what's really interesting about this is this was the 8th of February. Okay, and as we record this video, it's the 9th, and we can see the breakout has happened. So, yay, they got it right. It's good.
FX Street got it right.
FX Street got it right. Sometimes
wow,
they even FX Street can get it right. No, we only joke. Yeah, they got it right, which is good. So the VET price and Vechain price prepares for an upswing, okay, as it nears the end of an ascending triangle, which we've been speaking about on this channel as well. The VET's on-chain metrics notices a stark increase since mid-January, hitting favourable outlook, and a deceptive, close on the 3.5 cent resistance level could propel this cryptocurrency to 4.5 cents. So we're going to get into what all that looks like as well. Okay, so KuCoin lists VET futures. So one of the largest cryptocurrencies exchanges in Singapore, KuCoin, announced the launch of Vechain and Terra, or Luna, perpetual contracts on February the 8th. Users will be able to trade these altcoins with up to 50x leverage. So there's going to be some good movements there as well, which is good to see. Futures and perpetual contracts have been a go-to for many cryptocurrency traders. The reason behind it is that these types of financial products allow users to maximize their profits by using a leverage. Anyone can buy more contracts than they would otherwise be able to afford to. I personally don't like the idea of leverage. I think it's very risky, and if you don't know what you're doing, you can hurt yourself quite badly. And we've seen that a lot with Robinhood as well, haven't we?
Yeah, there was a young chap, I think he must have been about 20, and he actually committed suicide because he kind of didn't know what he was doing. He was using leverage. He got into an awful lot of debt. And, I'm not trying to scaremonger anybody, but, it is a great way to make an income if you're very good at it and you know what you're doing. But, just be cautious not to overextend yourself. And we do talk about this a lot on the channel, don't we, Nick?
We do, yeah. You always try to make sure that you can only invest in what you can afford to lose. And leverage obviously allows you to have more than you can afford to lose. So it's very, very risky. So I don't personally entertain that kind of thing, and I wouldn't really like talking about it too much, but it's good to see that there is a platform out there. If you know what you're doing, you can use these contracts up to 50x leverage, but I would only say do that if you're a trader and you know what you're doing. So exchanges listings usually cause the listed assets market value to increase. This market behavior is commonly known as the exchange effect. And we're kind of waiting for Coinbase really on that one for that, aren't we?
Yeah, I think it'll rally massively once it's on Coinbase. I mean, you know, Nick, the amount of comments that we see, you know, when's it going to be listed on Coinbase? You know, there's lots of people, they just don't understand how they can buy it, right? And I think that's the one good thing about Coinbase, isn't it? Is the fact that it's made so simple for people. And I know you've got the likes of crypto.com. Again, they make it quite simple as well, don't they?
They do.
Yeah, but you know, I think it's definitely going to have an impact on the price. But personally, I can't see that happening until Coinbase is IPO'd. I don't know if you align with that, Nick.
Yeah, we won't see it on Coinbase as such, but obviously KuCoin being, you know, the exchange, I guess, of choice over in Singapore, right? And it's good to see that they've listed it with the 50x leverage, whether you like that or hate it. Hate it in my case, but some people will probably love it. But the exchange effect has been seen on other popular you know, altcoins on exchanges such as Coinbase and Coinbase and Binance, for example, right? And amongst many others. And you can, I guess, one of the easiest ones to see was when we had a Coinbase Pro listing and a Binance listing in the same day for, I think it was the graph, Chris. The thing just went crazy up, right? Because it's just that exchange effect. So it's good to see that happen. And obviously that's helped push the price out of Vechain today, right? So while KuCoin announces, announcement was able to push Vechain price up to nearly 10%, further gains are still expected, which we saw today on the 9th. So Vechain price primed for another rally, and this is what they were talking about with this ascending triangle. We saw this on our chart as well. We've spoken about it a couple of times. There was about an 8 days range or something like that. And we were basically saying something was going to happen within there, and actually happened much sooner. And I think ultimately this exchange effect is what's kind of caused it to break out almost instantaneously. So let's jump on over, Chris, to our chart and have a look at what's going on. So here's Vechain to the USD on the daily, okay? And here we can obviously see that breakout in the massive volume spike, right? And that's just today alone. Beforehand, we were on this area here at 3.1 cent. We're pushing up against it, but unable to break through. And then today, we basically did have that push all the way through and also hit a new all-time high. Okay, so 3.4 was the previous level, and I think it's 3.6 today. So really good movement here, but I don't think that's necessarily the end of it. So on this particular chart, we can see the motion that we've had here on the candle side of things, and we're going to expect that this level here is going to be an area of support. Hopefully we'll come bounce off of there. We can see the volumes have increased here in the last 3 days. Okay, so it's quite steep on this daily chart. We'll have a look and see what that looks like at the lower levels. The MACD has gone into a positive switch, and our RSI has been moving to the upside. So most recently, this is now 63 on this daily chart. Not quite in the overbought area, so there's lots of room on the daily chart to enter that space. But let's pull this down, Chris, into our 4-hourly view. So show us the same data, but just on a slightly more granular level. Okay, so we'll have a look at that. Here we can start to see the volumes and what happens here with the flatter volumes and those slight price increases and where that volume really kicks in. Okay, so on this particular chart here, where we have this volume really moving up, we can see the massive swing that this most recently had up here on the chart. So we have all of this, bullish movement to the upside, hitting that new all-time high, when the volumes are only slightly dipping now. Okay, so we'll see if this thing can correct down over the hours. Okay, and if that can happen, we'll be able to maintain this area here. If the volumes stay up here relatively flat and it starts becoming a lot of selling pressure here, then we'll potentially come right back down and maybe bounce off here again. That's a less than ideal situation, obviously. So what we want to do is we want to start seeing this volume come down and then flatten off towards the bottom here. That will allow us to correct this RSI that's currently in an overbought situation. Okay, by being overbought up here at the 77 level, we need to come back down into this area here in order to allow us to come back up and move the price up again. Okay, and the MACD is less of a concern because it only ever really follows this RSI anyway. Okay, so what I mean by that is when we're down here at about 8 o'clock, or 12 o'clock I should say, we hit the bottom and then we started to move to the upside. By 8 o'clock in the evening here, we started to see a positive move, and the switch didn't happen until 12. Okay, so basically there's a bit of a delay, okay, between when we have the initial move on this RSI to when the MACD actually triggers and shows you that switch. So the RSI is going to give you a little bit more of a heads up as to what's potentially going to be on the horizon. So this was down here at 42, so coming right up here to 77 was a bit obvious, because once you drop below 50, you know that there's not a huge amount of space to come back down, right? So you can go down to 30. Sometimes you might even drop below 30 where it's oversold, and you know you're going to be coming right back up very soon. So right now on this 4-hourly chart, the RSI is indicating that we've overbought the token, the VET token. So we kind of have to expect that this thing's going to come back down. Okay, so what we want when that that sentiment changes and comes back down is we want the volume to decrease, so therefore we can maintain a good sideways trade at the top here. Okay, so what we're going to do is just pull this up into an hour view, Chris, and or down to an hour view, so we get that extra granular level. This allows us just to take a look at what's actually going on here with the volume, and we can see how it's actually starting to slightly dip, but not massively, every single hour. So that's going to have to change quite a bit if we want to continue moving to the upside. With that being said, though, we can look at how often we were actually up here in this overbought area, right? So this effect, the exchange effect, if you will, Chris, is playing its part quite well. We're overbought. We have a little baby correction here. It moves back up to overbought, a little baby correction again, and then moves back up to that overbought area. And what that looks like on the chart here is an up motion, a down, a correction, up again, a slight correction, up again, slight correction, up again. So we could just be in a slight correction, ready to move up again, okay? Which would indicate why the volumes are still high, okay? They haven't just like dropped off a cliff, for example. So this little tiny correction that you see at the top of this volume could be something similar that you see up here, right? Or in this area here where we're having these kind of corrections in our chart. So the next couple of hours will be key as to whether or not the volumes are going to decrease or continue to go flat. If they go flat, then we could start to see this thing move back up here into this space. As long as it's buying that is occurring and rather than selling. But we'll have to definitely just see how those last couple of hours play out to make sure everything's moving accordingly. If, of course, the volumes stay up here, but it's a lot of selling pressure, the RSI will, of course, come down and drop down here. The price will most likely correct into another area, somewhere probably around here. I would have thought, and then hopefully we'll get another switch on this RSI back to the upside. So we'll have to just watch that situation and see how it plays out. And I guess in the next couple of days, once we have a few more candles forming, we'll have to have a look and see what additional patterns are here and whether or not any new formations are there, when how those are going to interact with the chart and the other technical indicators, and see if we're going to be fast approaching the next level. So back up on this daily chart, we know that the volumes are okay. They're quite high, but they're okay. We know that the RSI is just below that that overbought situation, that level there. And we know that the MACD is in a positive situation as well. So if we look at this chart, we can see that 4.8 cent is the price target that we're looking for here. Okay, so that's what our next price discovery, our major price discovery is. That's what we're trying to target, and that's what we're trying to go after. Now, FX Street said 4.5. Okay, that puts it around that level there. And again, that's still a good price movement. So they think that ultimately it's going to hit that area of about 4.5 and then maybe get a bit of a correction. And some people, might think it's going to go a little bit higher, maybe hit that 4.8 cent or whatever, and then get the correction. So it'll be interesting to see if this is going to be a parabolic run to this level, maybe a little bit higher to the next level, and what that might mean in terms of a potential 50% correction from there. So lots going on, lots to review here, Chris, on the chart. But everything's still looking okay. We'll have to just see how the next few hours go.
Yeah, and obviously this is like my biggest investment. I've said this for a long time, and it was moving sideways for some length of time, wasn't it, Nick? And over the last sort of month or so, it's really started to pick up nicely. So great project, great team, great fundamentals. It's really worth taking a look to research it if you haven't already, that is.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm just going to pop this on here. So this basically is indicating of where we were, right, back at March, right? So the crash in March, Chris, which was, the lower point of the VET token, and down here. And this is when the thing was worth 0.0015, okay? So less than a cent. okay, back then. And where we got to the high point today, just make sure I've got that set to about right, 3.6 cents is over 2,000% growth on the VET token in a space of less than 12 months. So if you're looking for a short-term investment, something that you wanted to only mature within a year, then you could have had a 2,000% gains on your investment there, which would have been absolutely fantastic. Now, we didn't get in that early, but we did get in very early on the VET price, right, and the VET token. Must have been around, I want to say May, maybe a little bit later. Do you remember when?
May or June.
Let's hypothetically say it was from June. Okay, so I'm just going to grab that and just pop it up here in June level. So from the beginning of June, let's say, we've seen 435% growth on our initial investments with Vechain. And as Chris often says, it's his biggest bag. So you can imagine, the kind of level that you can get if you get into these projects at the right time. And I still find this thing incredibly undervalued, even at 3.6 cent. I think this thing has such huge potential. I wouldn't be too surprised if we can see 50 cent Vechain this year. I know some analysts out there, Chris, are talking about VET getting to $2 this year. I think that's incredibly bullish, and it can happen, absolutely. But it's a big ask, I find. I want to see it hit 50 cent first and then review the chart from there. But things are looking really, really good. So I'm just continue to buy this thing, and I just keep enjoying the rewards. So we're much longer term. We aren't thinking, just 1 year at all. But, it's fantastic to see such fantastic growth in a short space of time.
Yeah, super. And don't forget, it's a 2-token prong attack, isn't it, really, from Vechain? So you've got V4 as well, which accumulates over time. So yeah, it's a fantastic project in my opinion. Not financial advice. Go do your own research.
Yeah, absolutely. We always recommend that you do your own research into Vechain and all the other projects that we talk about here as well. Ultimately, Vechain, as Chris was saying, there is a 2-token system. You have the cryptocurrency VET, and you also have the gas token, which is V4. And by owning the cryptocurrency VET, you produce the gas token V4. So both are open on exchanges. You can find both the VET token and the gas token on there, or the V4 token. And yeah, this is why I'm super long-term with Vechain, Chris, because it basically incentivizes large organizations to hold a large number of VET tokens and take them out of circulating supply so that they can earn the gas that's required to use the network. So I feel that long term, there's the tokenomics of Vechain basically makes it worth more over time. So I'm just going to kind of hold my medium-sized Vechain bag for quite some time, I feel.
Yeah, same here.
Right, guys, if you have found this video useful, informative, then do go ahead and smash that like button for Chris. He really does appreciate it, and as do I. And if by chance you're still new to this channel and have not yet subscribed, do go ahead and subscribe. By subscribing, you will be kept up to date with all the videos and live streams that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. And with all this said and done, we hope everyone has a fantastic day, guys, and we'll catch you all in the next one.
Yeah, take care.